remind me of the concepts, please, of the ones that are there on the sheet?
Yeah, so
Oh,
there's the thinking of how my life would change, like the fear of failure and success.
okay.
And then people who question your dreams. Friends thought I was faking my giving up speech because that idea, neglecting my music, feeling how I was making excuses. Wait, feeling how I make excuses why I don't record as much as I could and don't come out with the time to work on my demos. That one. And then meant for more, wanting more out of life, vision, more visionary, seeing myself doing more than just music, spoken word, clothing line, sneaker line, wanting to settle, oh, not wanting to settle for what I thought I could gain.
Yeah. I thought there was another one there that was there. Um, about the nameless that was not on there.
Um,
Cause I
it's
was-
nameless. Is that what you said?
Yes. That was a concept that but I'm not sure if she copied and pasted it to the sheet.
I
Um,
don't see it here.
no. Okay.
But I think the one that I'm kind of intrigued by, I guess, is like maybe the meant for more one.
Yes.
Because like it kind of goes really nicely along with like the rich vision kind of like thing, and like having your visionary, like, vision board, like seeing all the things you could accomplish and like how much bigger it could be, you know what I mean, like always thinking big. um
Yeah, I love that concept.
and I even love the title meant for more. Like, I think
Yes.
that's great.
Yeah, I was
um
feeling that too.
do you kind of just want to talk a little bit about like what
Yes.
made you think of this, or like, some of the vision you have for all of this stuff, and we can just kind of, I'm just going to take some notes.
Yes. I guess for me, like I always feel like I settle. Like I guess for some reason, I don't know why, because I feel like yeah, I know I'm talented, but then I always seem like I'm not doing as much as like I think I could.
Mm,
And I don't know why. Like I feel like maybe it was so easy just to be complacent. Like oh well, 8 to 5 is a normal thing, and it's like everybody does it. So like I guess it's just a norm. So I think that was something in my mind, like oh, like I have to cater to that.
mm,
I don't know, philosophy of that. Oh yeah, 8 to 5. That's like everyone's mentality, and like I don't know, like I had this thought about like what about if I could be doing this like more than just that, like you know what I mean, like it's so many options. Like even when I was talking to Carrie, she's like oh I could be doing like this foundation and this book. I'm just like wow, that's like so like I don't know, like it's awesome, but it's like so left field for me because like I never thought, I don't know, like it was possible. Like I don't know,
yeah.
maybe because I didn't dream that big, and my dream was like small at the time. I didn't really think that all these other things were possible. Like I kept my mind very limited.
Mm,
And it was just like I don't know. I feel like having that limited mindset really kind of kept me crippled in a sense in my artistry because I was like, oh, there's only so much I can get done or do, you know.
right.
And I don't know, like I always felt like, yeah, there's got to be more than just like 8 to 5. Like yeah, it's like it does, it's not like I'm being lazy or whatever. Like it's something. It's like at least it's active and productive, but it's just like that's not something that's like giving back to other people. Like I just see myself like doing so much for other people, like being involved in like this different like soup kitchen or like maybe I don't know, these different organizations that just help other people, just like who are less fortunate. Like I just like that the people who are open to doing things like that and like being selfless and actually thinking about other people above themselves. And even I told Carrie like in our ABI like private session, like oh yeah, the music is bigger than me. It's just at the time I didn't think it was, but it's bigger than me. Like so when I almost like try to give up, I'm like no, there's something else that needs to be said because somebody else is going through the same thing and maybe something I say could help somebody else. So I always try to think about the other person before I'm like, okay, let me just cut the strings and give up. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just feel like I always try to think about the other person. Like who am I doing it for? and it causes me to feel like I could give it another hour. You know what I mean? Go the extra mile because I feel like if I do, then there's something gonna like every time I feel like I go the extra mile, like I feel like there's something on the other side of it. I don't know, like a breakthrough, like oh, like the best like delivery of something and vocally or something, like just something that happens. I'm just like, oh wow, this is a good aha for me. Like I have these epiphanies. I'm just like that's so profound, and I think
Yeah.
like it helps me feel like more confident in myself rather than like this defeated, victimized paradox. Sometimes I trap myself in, but yeah, like
Yeah, and like um I feel like maybe like the song could kind of focus on like the verse, maybe the first verse being something about how you were limiting yourself and limiting your dreams and everything. And then the chorus is like, but I know that I was meant for so much more, blah, blah,
mm,
blah. And then the second verse could be like all the stuff that you're like seeing for your future. Like I could have this, I want to do this, I want to help people, I want to do more than just a 9 to 5. Like I want to like, inspire people and like help people and whatever, like, and we could say like through my words, through my work, through my like, like whatever, just like there's so many different ways that you can help people and like give back, and like it's really cool that that's something you're passionate about
thank you.
too. um and it's kind of just like, being alive as opposed to just like living, if that makes sense. You know what
Yes,
I mean? Like, um, and like a lot of people just go through the motions. Um, and it's like, yeah, we just do our jobs, we go to work, we come home, we do it again every single day. And it's just like, you're not alive, you're just like living, like you're just like,
yes.
um, so I don't know, thinking something about that could be interesting for like a bridge.
Mm, okay.
Um, and wanting
Yes.
to really make a difference.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because like you said, it's true. Like I feel like people just kind of like, it is so easy to settle, and it's like, well, I mean, this is all I have right now, and it just seems like people are more into like complacency than trying to step out of their like normal like I guess bubble or whatever case it may be, like because it's like, and it does have a little bit to do with maybe fear, maybe I
Yeah.
think also for me also dealing with that, like it's like oh do I want to step out because like I don't know, and it's like sometimes I feel like I limit myself by saying like oh I don't know what other people might think, and that is one way I limit it to myself, and even trying to put myself out there performing for all these years because I always like, oh, this person's gonna think this of me, so I'm like, let me not perform, even though I love performing. It's like I always think about the other person who's critiquing me than me trying to like do it because I want to like connect with somebody else. Like I'm not thinking about that. Like I'm always thinking about, oh, if this person's gonna think like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy because I'm not on this other rapper's level, or the case may be like they don't think I have credentials or accolades. I think, and I think that a lot of times it stopped me, and then I felt like, well, I'm not good enough, and even I told Kerry like, compared to like my idols, I feel like I'm not really good enough to be in the same field as them because I feel like people are doing it so much better. So it really hindered me in growing because I'm like, well, if they're better than me, then how can I really do I have, you know what I mean? Like, do I have the right to try to get into it? Like, I don't know. I always made an excuse that because other people are doing better than me, that I can't see myself doing it in the same, I guess, capacity um,
Right.
as them. So it really, I don't know, it just kept me very trapped, I guess, in my mind. Um,
Yeah. I think like one of the lies that we like tell ourselves is that like also the people that are successful are more talented or better than us, and like it's like not actually true. It's like they've had a little bit of luck. Like every person that's successful has had like anytime I've spoken to anyone, they're like, I was in the right place at the right time, and it just like things just worked out. It was like, you know what I mean? Like how they say like preparedness meets like opportunity or whatever, like that, something like that. And I feel like we just view it as like, oh, they're so much better than us, or like we're not good enough. But it's like actually not true. It's like they've just had the opportunity, and we're going to have our opportunity at some point. It's just like a matter of like persevering and being patient.
Yes.
um and I think like, I don't know, that's something I've been struggling with too, actually. Like I've been really struggling with self criticism and criticism as well, because I actually like, I've been trying to do TikTok, which like is like everybody's like, oh, you got to do TikTok now. Like it's all this thing. And I like will spend like hours making it and perfecting it and like trying to be like, okay, well, if someone could criticize this, then I need to redo it. Like, oh, someone could criticize that, so I need to redo it. So I'll spend hours and hours working on it, and then I'll post it and it'll get like no views. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like I'm just as talented as that went viral. Like, and I'm like fighting with the stupid algorithm, and I'm just like, I don't understand why it's not working. It's just like a monologue going on in your head, and then I'm just like, I'm just not doing it, and I just like avoid it because I don't want to deal with the rejection and like the like, the criticism, or like it's not even from like I get criticism, it's just more like the rejection of like, oh, this didn't take off the way I wanted, and now I've wasted time, and like I don't understand, and like I'm frustrated, and I'm seeing everybody else seem to like take off, and it's just like, what am I doing wrong? Like, and then I just get frustrated and I just want to give up, and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like upset over TikTok. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many bigger issues in the world. Like, this is not something I need to be upset over, but like it's still a form of rejection. And for some reason it like it's hard. Like we're sensitive people. Like, we're like putting our creativity out there into the world for other people to judge and rip apart and like not care about. And like, it's very difficult. And I think like one thing I like remind myself is that I am super brave and courageous to even like be doing this and like be putting it out there, and you know just like trying, because it's so much rejection. It's so much like not everyone is always going to love you,
Yes.
like, and
Yes.
that's just like a huge part of the game. And like one thing I've been realizing lately is that like when with paralleled with success, like I've seen a couple people just is equal amounts of criticism. So it's like you better be able to handle that. Even when you are successful, you're going to get a lot of hate. You're going to get a lot of people just trolling because they want attention. And like, I'm always like, would I be able to handle that? I don't know. I'm like, I can't even handle like one bad thing anybody thinks. Like, I just, so I really relate to that. And like, just the constant, like I feel like I do so many things, like I anticipate criticism, so I'm like, okay, how do I like change what I do so that that won't happen? And that like
Mm.
translates into perfectionism and like, just never want and avoidance, like all these things, you know what I mean? So yeah, I totally get it. But
Wow.
also like there's so much that I want to do, and I'm like a big dreamer, and there's like, so much I'm so passionate about. And like I totally feel you on like just wanting to help people and wanting to like I feel like that's what's important about persevering, is that there are people out there that resonate with what we're doing, what we're saying, and they need this, like um and there's people you're going to touch with your music. So you have to keep trying for them, like,
Yes.
and yeah, there's like a million people out there that are going to be like, this sucks, I hate this, whatever. They're going to say what they're going to say. And I just have to remind myself, like, it doesn't actually matter, because, like, you don't actually know those people. Even if people you do know are criticizing you, like, why? Like, why waste effort caring about that? There's so much to care about in the world.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's easier said than done. Like as I'm saying, I have like struggle with anxiety, so like a lot of that manifests itself in these different ways, and then just like an inner monologue of like, why even try? Like, you suck, like you're not gonna be good enough, like it's never gonna work, like it's never gonna happen for you, like you don't deserve it, like, just all those thoughts. And I think just fighting through that is like something you should be proud of. And like, you know what I mean? Just it's way harder than anybody understands unless you're pursuing something creative. It's so hard.
Oh my gosh,
And it's
yes.
just like a constant like it's not like you ever get a break from it. It's not like a 9 to 5. It's not like you're like, okay, I've done my day of work and now it's over. It's like, no, like, I'm
Yeah.
constantly thinking about my career. It like drives me insane. I'm constantly thinking about music. I'm constantly thinking about how I can better myself, how I can get better at it, how I can stand out from like the billion other people doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, your mind never gives you a break. Like,
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's speaking to me. Yes.
it's just like, it's like a toxic relationship. You're just like addicted to it, but you're also like so disheartened by it. And you're like, but then sometimes you're just like on cloud nine when you make something you love, or like something actually works and something actually happens. And you're like, I will never give up on this. Like, you know what I mean? It's so much like ups and downs. And then, a lot of just like isolation too, because you're just working alone and you're just like drudging along and like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, so, but at the end of the day, it like comes back to this idea of like wanting more for your life and wanting it to all mean something and wanting to leave something behind that matters and changing people's, you know, lives ever so slightly, or ever, like, some people are like, X song saved my life. Like, I want to write songs like that. Like, I want that experience. Like, I want to help people. And like, it is possible. It's just like tired. It's like 10 years of work, and
Yes.
like then maybe like it's so like endless. I don't know.
Yes, wow, this is speaking to me. Yeah, like that's motivating because it's like once you figure out like there's other people like that are like minded, you're just like, okay, well, I don't feel so alone. Like I'm not like this one
Yeah.
person out of like thousands of people who don't feel like this. Like I'm like one of many. So like
Yeah.
it just feels like I am like in the right company, so to speak, and I feel like it feels good to know like I'm not the only one, I guess. Like in that like struggle of like, okay, we got this, and then other ways like other days it's like I literally started like a YouTube channel like I think like 2 weeks ago, and I was trying to come like for my new brand, and I told myself like all these excuses not to do it, like okay, I'm not in a professional setting, blah blah blah, and then I'm
Yep.
taking this master class to sell music, and I was thinking about like what he said, and one of the challenges was to go on the private page, and post an intro video for YouTube. I'm like, okay, like do I take the challenge or do I just keep making excuses? So I'm like, okay, one Saturday I was like, okay, let me just get it done. It was just only gonna take a couple minutes. So after that I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm so brave for this, like being on camera and talking to like myself. And actually starting it, because like that's the first step, is like starting, and I was convincing myself like not to start because I'm like, oh, like I don't want to start from zero and all this nonsense and whatever. Like we
Yep.
all start from zero, and I guess I was frustrated because it seemed like I was gonna have to do more work to build up the newer pages and stuff and get everybody hip to the new name and
Yeah.
everything like that. I'm like, oh gosh. So it became frustrating, but I'm like, you know what, it's better because it's like it really defines who I am now, the vision I have,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, I'm glad I started, and now it's like I literally can't stop. I have like things scheduled for like that's coming out soon, like on autopilot. So it's like I'm like actually
Yeah.
excited to release certain things. I'm doing like more deeper stuff like about mental health and comparison issues, and I'm just being transparent, like, and I'm not being, I'm not apologizing for it, because this is what I'm struggling with right now, and I feel like there's gonna be someone who has the same issues, that is able to relate to this, all these topics
Yeah.
that I'm
No.
gonna talk about.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've said this before, but like, as an artist, your story is, and your experiences and your perspective is everything, and like, it's an amazing outlet to use those hard things that have happened to connect with others and to help other people and to make a difference. So like, I think it's amazing that you're like fighting through all of that. Like, yeah, because
Thank
it's
you.
like we're all in our own way. Like, you know what I mean? We're all just like, you can't do it. Why are you trying? No, no, no. And it's like, if we can fight past ourselves, then anybody else, like, because we're our worst critics, so it's like anybody else can, like, we can get past that if we can get past our own
Yes.
selves, you know what I mean? So like no
Yes.
one's going to be harder on us than us. So I think like
That's so
just continuing and like making sure you have that, like you continue to fight for your vision,
true.
like
Yes.
you know what I mean, like, and make it reality, and like it's going to take time and it's going to be like hard, you know, but anything like worth having is like hard, you know.
Yes, you're right. One of my friends was telling me that too in a voice message. I was like, she said the same exact thing. I'm like, wow, that's so true because like sometimes we don't think about it because we sometimes, and I admit that sometimes I am impatient.
Yeah,
Like I just
me
want
too.
things to just like poof, fly. Like I want one of my freestyles to just like poof, but it's like when I see it has only like this many views, I'm like, okay, did nobody like it? Like, am I bad or nobody's looking at my stuff? And it seems like it's like okay, then whatever. I just gotta keep on going. And even one of my friends was saying like I just gotta keep. He said like I need to keep going. Like keep on doing it, keep on putting out the stuff, whatever. Like it's gonna your time will come. Like your time will come. I just gotta
Yeah,
remember that like it's gonna come. It's not gonna come tomorrow. Like I still gotta develop as an artist. Like now that I'm developing my sound and stuff, I feel like all these pieces is gonna help me because I feel like once I develop like a sound and stuff, like people will be will actually kind of like know me for like this. You know what I mean? Like how to differentiate myself between other artists. You know, because I think a lot of people are doing trap right now because it's so popular, and I'm not doing that. So it's like I feel like I'll have to figure out different ways, like you said, like to stand out from people who are doing like the normal, like typical trap beats and stuff. It's like yeah, but that's everybody's doing that. Like why not do something different and innovative to stand out rather than just do it something just because it's popular at the moment. And that's the thing
yeah,
with the TikTok thing. Like my friend was like, "Oh, like TikTok." I'm like, "Well, I could barely handle, two socials right now, and I trying to juggle three. It's like, and the thing is about it. It's like it's so bad when you have all these new different platforms because it's like you feel like you have to be on everything to reach this broader audience. But I'm just like I was told like for my teacher like don't you can't do that because then you're spreading yourself really thin, like at least two at a time. Because then you refocus on like 5 or 10 things. Are you gonna do 5 to 10
yeah,
things all like 100%? Like I doubt it. You know what I mean? Even like the best
yeah,
of us, they can't keep up with all of that. So I'm just trying to be realistic.
right.
Like if it, like I'm been doing a lot of like my YouTube and trying to put out content for that. So I think a lot of my hours are spent on just like building that out and trying to get go a following on there, and then like second is probably like maybe like Instagram or something, and I post little things on Facebook and stuff, but not as much. But like I want to start like automating stuff so that everything could be like so I don't have to literally do it in real time, like post this stuff. Like I want things to be like so like automated right now so that I could worry about like working on like my songs and demos and stuff like that, like more important rather than like posting things just to like post.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I think like, well, one tip about TikTok that I've learned, because literally, like, this is also something that like really bothers me. Like, almost everyone I know has had like one video go viral,
Oh well.
except me. So it like really drives me crazy. But anyways, one thing I've learned is like you really don't have to try hard with TikTok. It's actually like the more like random and like you just like had to get on there and say something, the better with that
Oh
platform.
wow.
So like if you ever just like have a random thought or something, just do it, and then like don't worry about like editing and all that stuff. Like it's like really just like top of the mind like rants or
Okay.
like whatever like comes to your mind, or like if you're ever like inspired to just talk about like some of your like anxiety or whatever, like you know what I mean, like that type of stuff really goes on TikTok, and like you don't have to like really try super hard, because I've noticed when I try harder, I actually do so much worse. So the less you try
That's funny.
there, the more it seems like the algorithm likes that. So
Wow.
I don't know, just a tip, like it's not as like, I think I way overthink my like ideas for TikTok. So yeah, I don't know if you're ever like interested. It's like it is
Yes.
a platform where you can just kind of like get a big audience quickly, I think a lot faster than YouTube.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
so it is definitely something to consider right now. I don't know, like not trying to make you
Yes.
like overwhelm you or anything, but like it seems like people can go just get a lot of followers very quickly. So, that's why I'm intrigued by it, but I'm also very deflated by it right now. So like it is just be ready for the rejection, but also hey, maybe your first video goes fucking viral and then I'm
Yes.
like eating my words here. So
Yeah, that's so true. That's so funny though, because that's one thing that like Carrie was saying. Like she says like you don't know like how like, there's certain things that go many viral. You just don't know what it is as yet.
yeah,
So I think that's cool just to be like open to that. But then it's like, am I gonna be like, because she also said like I know you know her, Krista Marie, from the
yeah,
company. She had things popping off so fast that Carrie said that even she couldn't handle it, to the point where she had to slow down everything because it was like, to be
too
honest,
much.
overwhelming. Yes,
Yeah.
for her. So I'm just trying to figure out like for me like is this gonna be too much for me? Being that I'm just still like my feet wet, like I need to like
Yeah,
perform
I
and
mean, take
stuff.
your time. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just encouraging
yeah,
you
that's
to
cool.
not like rule it off so quick because even though I'm like, it's not working for me, I've seen it work for so many of my friends that I'm like, I can't rule it out. It's just like whatever, yeah, but you're right. Like, whatever platform speaks to you, I think is what, or whatever like you feel like you're the most excited about is what you're going to want to put the time and energy into. So it's kind of just like, making something that is a plan that is like executable. So I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean? Like something you can actually follow through on is what's important because I have a hard time with that too. I'm like, I'll make every excuse. I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry today, so therefore I will not be making a TikTok. Like I like
That's
just
funny.
like
That's
find
funny.
any reason not to. So
That's so me
it's
though.
ridiculous. But
Yeah,
no,
that's
I'm
me.
super anyways,
Yeah,
I know we've gotten a little bit like lost in the woods here,
yeah,
but
but we definitely
I feel
got
like
some
it
good
all
ground.
I feel like it all relates. Like
Yeah.
it's like, we're gonna just dig on this idea of like being meant for more and like having a vision and like wanting, everything that comes along with that, like the struggle, the excitement, the like, low points and the high points, like it's all like part of the process. And I think finding a way to like love the process and like be happy while you're growing and while you're like in that like journey is like truly the key to like, kind of just like happiness in general. It's like it's not a destination, and that's something I grapple with every single day. Like with anxiety, we're living in the future. Like that's what I've realized with my battle this year, especially with anxiety. Like it's been like just constantly living in the future. What's going to happen? Am I going to succeed? Am I going to fail? Am I going to make enough money? Am I going to not? Am I going to like quit this job? Am I going to like stop this? Am I going to like, when am I putting music out? Like it's all future stress that I'm like, it's not even here yet. And I'm like so freaking out about it, So now that I like kind of have like, because I didn't even realize I was struggling with anxiety until this year. Like
Wow.
it's just been a profound like realization for me, but I thought that was like what everybody was feeling all the time. Like,
Wow.
and then I realized like, oh, this is like not what everybody feels all the time. Like, oh, I could like manage this a lot better now that I like know what's happening when it's happening. And like, you know, I don't know. That's all to say that I just like relate to, those stresses and anxieties and everything. So I feel like this will be a really good one for both of us to write. Like, hopefully,
Yes. Yeah,
just
for
some
sure.
like confidence and like excitement, in there, and along with the struggle. That's like, just being real with it, but also, um, I think it's about like being brave enough to dream big,
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Like I'm already like ripping on like certain ideas and stuff that I could prep before our co-write. I think in July, I believe. think
Is that when this one is?
I think it was July.
Okay, cool.
If I remember correctly, I think it was July 10th or something like that. I was checking. So we have a good stretch. of time. Yeah, it's just weird how it worked out that way.
Oh yeah, I
um,
see it now. July 10th. Yeah.
yeah, but we have I have more than enough time to riff on little ideas I could send you beforehand. And is there a reference track for that one as well? I think there was
Yeah, there's
some.
a link here, a
Okay.
YouTube link. So
Okay.
I'll check that out before our session. And we can go from there.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because I know she wanted me to do it like the day that we had the A&R, but it didn't happen because of my computer. But I did definitely try to make sure I did the references. Okay, perfect.
Yep, all good. Got it here. So yeah, I'll check that out. And then
Perfect.
I know it's like a bit away, but
Yes.
that's fine. It just gives us more time to like ruminate over it and really narrow in on some ideas. So it'll be great. I'm
Yeah, I'm
excited.
actually looking forward to it. I'm just like I can't wait to just write already. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
like
I
write
feel
something.
that. Computer issues are so stressful too because it's like your whole like existence is like with music is like on the computer.
Yeah, so it's just like frustrating. Like these sessions, like what's going on? But yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, I
Thank you.
have the next person in the waiting
Yes.
room, so I'm going to let you go,
Thank you.
but it was so nice to see you and I'm
You
looking
too.
forward to the session.
Thank you. Take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.